Hi there, my name's Lisa. I'm 21 years old, and 3 years ago, I married the love of my life. Everything seemed to be going great. Even though my husband Carlos is Spanish, we didn't have any problems except for a language barrier. To show my love, I decided to learn Spanish so I could communicate better with him and his family. This is how much I love him. I did this in secret. Carlos, my husband, and Jane, my mother-in-law, didn't know that I was learning. Not only did I learn, but I also got pretty good at it. I knew that if I went to Spain, I would be able to manage. You might be wondering if I'm so good at Spanish. Why doesn't my husband know? Well, I was shy. It can be scary to try to speak a new language, especially with people you are close to. But I decided it was time to stop hiding. I needed to communicate with my husband and mother-in-law in Spanish. After all, learning to communicate makes it easier, right? It's a good thing that I didn't speak Spanish right away, because one day I found out surprising information that led to a series of unfortunate events. Hello, Mom. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. How about you? Good, thanks for asking. What can I do for you? Oh, how lovely. Thank you so much. Come and sit, Mama. The food will be ready soon. Did she prepare the food? No, I did most of the prep. Don't worry. Oh, thank God. Hearing this, I wondered what she meant by that, but I was too shy to ask. Jane always seemed to like my cooking. Why was she saying those things? At the time, I thought maybe she just wanted to eat food made by her son that day. Maybe she wanted to taste food that reminded her of old times. Then I heard her say, I hate her cooking. Why did you invite me here instead of taking me to a cafe so we could avoid her? Mom, we agreed to speak in English so Lisa doesn't feel left out, remember? Oh, forgive me, my sweet daughter. I was just saying that the food looks so good. I was surprised to learn that my son made it. Oh, I wish it was you who made it. I love your cooking. At this point, I was confused. How could she say such awful things in Spanish and then lie to me in English? I thought I might have misunderstood, but I had a plan to confirm what I heard. Oh, please don't worry. You should never feel ashamed to speak your native language. Go ahead, I'll be fine. I wanted to understand what she was saying, so I planned to use Google Translate to record her and ensure I understood correctly. We all sat down to eat, and what came next surprised me. I want us to talk about our plan. It's getting late. It's almost tomorrow, Carlos. Be serious. The app and my Spanish skills confirmed that there was a plan, but I didn't know what it was. Mama, not now. I told you I would take care of it. What are you going to tell her? Lisa, dear, can you pass me the sugar? She doesn't know anything about the plan. I was just going to tell her that I would be out of town. Out of town? What for? What was going on? I was so confused. I kept looking down at my phone to see what the app was saying. I think they thought I wasn't listening and became less careful with their words, which was good because I learned their true feelings. She's not very smart. Look at her glued to her phone. Can we talk about this now? Mama? Fine. What do you want to talk about? The plane leaves at 2:00 p.m.? Are you sure you can escape her then? Escape me? Why? I was confused but stayed calm and pretended to not understand so I could make my next move. Yes, Mama, I know. I'll do what needs to be done. I understand how important this is. It is extremely important. If your great-uncle doesn't see us tomorrow, he will give the house to someone else, like your cousin or your aunt. We can't let that happen. No one needs to know about this house. Oh, Mama, you're so funny. Don't worry. I just said that in English so she wouldn't suspect what we were talking about. Who? Lisa? Yes! Oh, sorry, my love. I was just wondering who made this delicious tea. It's splendid. Oh, that would be your talented son. I'm afraid I'm not as good at these things as he is. Oh dear, your food is amazing. Amazingly terrible, Mom. She'll catch you. She can't catch me. She's too stupid to understand us. I don't know, Mom. She obviously understands some basics, I think. Let's see, Lisa. How much Spanish do you know? At this moment, I knew I had to lie. I said that I didn't know much, so they would continue exposing themselves, and I could continue learning their true colors. How I managed to remain calm while being insulted is still amazing to me. I suppose it was more important for me to handle this situation rather than getting emotional at that moment. Oh, I'm still really bad at Spanish, I said. I only know the basics, like "E buenos dias and como te llamas," but that's all. That won't do at all, dear, she said. You need to learn more Spanish. I replied, yes, ma'am, I will. She then added, well, this is good for Carlos and me because we can talk about you, and I replied jokingly, I'm only kidding with you, my girl. He would never do that. To which she replied, are we doing that now? Then she laughed and said, that makes it even funnier. They laughed, and I continued to use Google Translate. I also checked other apps, websites, and forums to see if what they were saying was correct. I received about 99 confirmation from those sources. Now that I knew they didn't like me and were making fun of me, I had to gather as much information as possible, even though their insults hurt me. The next thing I heard broke my resolve. As I was saying, this house is very important. No one should know about it, okay? We need to be the only ones who know because we can make a lot of money. We can't miss this opportunity. I'm glad we're doing this. It was a good idea not to tell my wife because I don't want to share the profits. Me too. Everything has to go smoothly. Your great Uncle Jack said that whoever contacts him first about the issue will inherit the house, so we have to go there before anyone else and start working on renovating and improving the home. I can't wait to have a house in New Hampshire. This is where I'll escape my wife and life here in Mississippi. Sometimes I can't stand her. You're young, too young to marry someone like her? Why don't you come and live with me in New Hampshire? You can enjoy your youth, have fun, and then settle down when you're ready. I honestly think you're right. I couldn't believe it. I felt my eyes well up. Excuse me, what's wrong? Everything okay? Yes, just need something from the kitchen. I couldn't listen to them anymore. I needed to collect myself and not make a scene. How could they say those awful things to me right there in the room? Did they have no shame? I was so upset. I began pacing up and down the kitchen, and then I saw my mother-in-law's purse sitting on the counter. I decided to look inside and take her phone. Fortunately, it was unlocked. I opened her WhatsApp and sent Uncle Jack's number to my phone. Then I quickly deleted the message from her phone, so it looked as if nothing had happened. It felt as if I was acting on instinct. I didn't know why I had done it, but I was happy because I now planned to get back at them. I returned to the dining room, where the conversation was still ongoing. They seemed to be talking about the same thing. So tomorrow we are leaving for vacation. I think this is well-deserved because of all the hard work we have been doing. I agree with that. We deserve this break. Is everything okay? Yes, honey, we were just talking about the weather and how it's a perfect day to go somewhere to relax. Would you like to do that? Maybe not today. Oh, okay. When would you like to go then? Both Jane and Carlos were frozen. I looked for their reaction and noticed it. I don't think that tomorrow would be possible. I asked Carlos to help me with some things at home. Oh, what things? Why are you asking so many questions? Just moving things around. I can help if you want. It won't be necessary. See how nosy you are being. I don't like that at all. Do you understand why you need to leave this place? Don't worry, Mom. I've got it under control. I still managed to keep a smile on my face despite knowing what they were saying. I was looking forward to my plan of revenge. I continued recording their conversations until the very end in order to make sure I had all the details. As mentioned before, my Spanish had improved quite a bit, but I wanted to be sure I got the correct information. That night, I sneaked out of the bedroom and went into the office to investigate further. I replayed the audio and sure enough, my doubts about my accuracy had disappeared. From this whole experience, I learned that a vacation was planned for tomorrow for me to claim a house from my great-uncle, and that those people apparently hated me and planned to leave me behind. A bonus piece of information I received was when I went into the kitchen to get some water. I left my phone recording in the room with my husband and mother-in-law. I managed to pick up more useful information from the conversation. The conversation was about Carlos's computer password. Jane wanted to change the flight details. She asked Carlos for the password. I got the password and the flight details from his computer. I felt like I hit the jackpot. I logged into his computer and found the flight details on a website where he had booked the tickets. I changed the flight date to the next day. This was phase 1 of my plan. There was more to come. Since I knew Great Uncle Jack's phone number, I called him. "Hello, Uncle Jack." "Oh, hello, dear. How are you? Is everything okay?" "Well, no, not really. I went into great detail explaining what had happened that day. I even sent him the audio recording as proof, because without it, I doubt he would have believed me. We cut the call so he could listen to the voice recordings, and we talked again after he finished listening. Wow, I don't know what to say. How could Jane and Carlos do this? They were such sweet and innocent people when they were younger. How could they do this to us? I know it's a lot to take in, and it was shocking for me too. You have improved your Spanish. Well done. Thanks, Jack. Now that we know this, what should we do? Obviously, they're not getting the house. That's a fact. After hearing all this, there's no way I would give such a valuable and honorable gift to people who are planning to ruin it with their evilness and foolishness. Okay, I get it. It's your house and you have every right to do what you want with it. Yes, I do. From now on, I will ignore their calls. Let's see how they feel about that. Thanks again for bringing this to my attention. You are a good and kind-hearted person. Lisa, please don't let the ugliness of this world change you. Thank you for your time and willingness to listen. Hearing what you heard today couldn't have been easy. I applaud you for your strength. Please take care, Uncle Jack. With that, I knew I had secured the downfall of both Jane and Carlos. Now that everything was set, I just had to wait for the right moment to make my move. When I got back to the bedroom, Carlos was still fast asleep. It hurt to know that my husband, whom I loved dearly, would treat me this way. I didn't know he felt all those things, and maybe if we had talked, we could have found a solution. But he chose to be deceitful. I took his phone and turned off his alarm. Without it, he would surely oversleep. And that's exactly what happened. I packed my things and went to a hotel for the night. I couldn't stay in the house with someone like that. The next day, absolute chaos ensued. I'm sure Carlos woke up to 100 missed calls from his mother and was frantically packing because he hadn't packed the day before. I suspected this because I received a call from him at 1:00 p.m. Where the hell are you? Why didn't my alarm go off and why aren't you here? Oh, I decided to take a little vacation day for myself. Oh, that's nice. A heads up would have been appreciated. Yeah, likewise. What? What do you mean? Anyways, that doesn't matter. I'm running late for my flight. I mean, my meeting with my mom. Why are you in such a hurry? I'm not sure if she'd mind if you were a little late. You don't understand. Anyway, it's okay. I won't be home tonight, and I'll explain everything when I get back. You know what, Carlos? Don't worry about it. Let's just say I know everything. I know about the house, your plans with your mother, and how you both feel about me. There was a long pause on the other end of the line. I could almost hear the gears turning in his head as he tried to process what I had just said. What are you talking about? He finally asked, his voice shaking slightly. I overheard everything, Carlos. I know about your plans to claim Great Uncle Jack's house and leave me behind. I also know about the horrible things you and your mother said about me. In fact, I even have recordings of our conversations. Lisa, I can explain. There's nothing to explain. You and your mother showed your true colors. I spoke to Great Uncle Jack, and he is not giving you the house. So you can forget about that little scheme. You did what? How could you? You had no right. I had every right, Carlos. You and your mother were planning to deceive me and take something that didn't belong to us. I just made sure it didn't happen. Lisa, please, Let's talk about this. We can work it out. No, it's too late, Carlos. I'm already packed and leaving. I won't come back. Wait, Lisa, I hung up the phone feeling a strange mixture of relief and sadness. It was over. My marriage, my life with Carlos, everything. But I knew it was for the best. I deserved better treatment than what they had given me. The next few days were a whirlwind of emotion and logistics. I found somewhere to stay, applied for a divorce, and began rebuilding my life. It wasn't easy, but I knew I was doing the right thing. As for Carlos and Jane, they were left to deal with the consequences of their actions. Great Uncle Jack cut them off completely, and they never got their hands on the house. They had to face the reality of their own greed and deceit. In the end, I came out stronger and wiser. I learned to trust my instincts and stand up for myself. And most importantly, I learned that I deserved to be treated with love and respect. Life moved on. So did I. I found new friends, new opportunities, and eventually new love. While the memories of that time still linger, they no longer have the power to hurt. I took control of my life and determined to make the best of it. A few months later, I settled into a new life. I found a cozy apartment in the city, got a new job, started going to yoga class. These changes helped me regain my mental balance and confidence. One evening, when I was returning home from work, my phone rang. An unknown number appeared on the screen and I decided to answer. Hello? Hi, Lisa. It's Jack. Oh, hello, Uncle Jack. How are you doing? Not bad, thanks. I heard you moved and started a new life. How are things going? Yes, I did. It wasn't easy, but I'm managing. Thanks for your support. I'm happy to hear that. Maybe you want to spend the weekend with me? We can hang out, talk, and relax. That sounds great. I could use a change of scenery. Great. I'll see you Friday evening. Then on Friday, I packed my bags and drove to Uncle Jack's house. It was outside the city in a beautiful area surrounded by forests and lakes. Perfect for forgetting about problems and enjoying nature. When I arrived, Uncle Jack greeted me with a big smile and gave me a hug. Welcome, Lisa. So glad you could make it. Thank you, Jack. I'm glad to be here too. We spent the weekend walking in the woods, boating on the lake, and just talking. Jack told me many interesting stories about our family, his childhood, and how he built this house. I felt at home and realized that I was really happy there. One evening, sitting on the veranda, enjoying the sunset, Jack suddenly said, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I want to offer you something. You're going through a difficult time right now, and I want to help you start a new life. How about moving in with me? This house is big enough for 2 people, and I could use your company. I was stunned. The offer was unexpected but very tempting. Jack, that's very generous of you. I don't know what to say. Just think about it. If you want, you can always change your mind. But I think this could be a good start for you. I spent the rest of the evening thinking about his offer. The next day, before I left, I went up to Jack. Jack, I've made a decision. I agree. I'll move in with you, I said. Jack smiled and hugged me. I'm glad to hear that. Welcome home, Lisa, he replied. So a new chapter of my life began. Life with Uncle Jack was calm and peaceful. I found a new job nearby, made new friends, and began to feel happy and confident. The past was behind me, and I was ready for new adventures and opportunities. Months have passed, and living with Uncle Jack has become a source of inspiration and comfort. We have become not only relatives, but also friends. The time we spend together has helped me to understand myself better and my desires. One evening, when we were sitting by the fire, Jack brought up a topic I had been avoiding. Lisa, I know how hard it was for you after your divorce from Carlos, but I see you're thriving here. Have you considered what you want to do next? I thought about it. I have felt more confident and ready to take on new challenges in recent months. Jack, I've thought a lot about this. I love helping people and want to do something significant. I want to start a support center for women in difficult situations, like I was in. Jack smiled and nodded in agreement. It's a great idea, Lisa. I'm sure you can do it. If you need help, know that I am always there for you with his support. I started planning the creation of the center. I studied everything I needed, looked for a suitable room, and talked to people who could help. Gradually, my dream began to take shape. A few months later, we opened the doors to our support center. It was a small but cozy place where women could get counseling, psychological help, and just find support and understanding. We organized group classes, workshops, and meetings where women could share their stories and make new friends. One day, a young woman named Anna came to our center. She was desperate and didn't know where to turn for help. We talked for a long time, and I saw in her eyes the same pain and fear that I had once felt. Anna, you are not alone. We are here to help you. You are strong and you can handle this. Anna became more confident every day. She found a new job, rented an apartment, and began to build her life anew. Seeing her success, I felt that all our efforts had not been in vain. The center had become for me more than just a job. It had become the meaning of my life. I had seen how women who came to us changed, found strength, and began believing in themselves. This gave me incredible satisfaction and joy. One evening, as I was returning home, I stopped at the door and looked around. My path had been full of difficulties and trials, but I knew that they had made me stronger. Life had gone on, and I was prepared for new challenges and adventures. I opened the door, and there was Uncle Jack waiting for me with a cup of hot tea and a warm smile. We sat by the fire and discussed plans for the future, knowing that we could overcome anything together and make the world a better place.